Hello, my name is Chris. Um, if you watch Heroes of Cosplay, you might have seen my episode that aired last night, which was Tuesday, July the 1st, 2014. I was part of the group competition with the Batman villains. I was the one that interviewed. I was a member of the Court of Owl. Uh, I watched yesterday or last night's episode, and there's a lot of things that weren't shown or weren't proper. I'm making this video to share my experience with Heroes of Cosplay. This is the first time I've ever done any cosplay at a con. Never done it before. But I guess we should start from the beginning. Initially, I didn't even know that I was going to be going to this con. My brother-in-law's parents ended up giving him and I tickets to it. Him and Larry, if you're watching this, thank you so much. Had so much fun. It was amazing. Can't thank you enough for that. So my brother-in-law and I went together, and I just kind of wanted to dress up. Never really done it before. A couple years ago, whenever I went, so everyone dressed up. Looked like it was a lot of fun. But it was kind of last minute timing, so I didn't have time to do anything for a costume. I didn't even know what I wanted to do. So I remember that I had my Court of Owl mask from the Batman graphic novel. And thought, well, hell, do the member of the Court of Owl, super easy. I gotta do this dress nice, wear the mask, you're good. So I decided to do that. Well, whenever we got there, we were walking around, my brother-in-law and I, having a lot of fun and whatnot, and I saw a group of 4 people doing a set of Batman villains, but they were doing a gender bending one. So you had the two guys were dressed as Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn, and the 2 girls were dressed up as the Joker and the Penguin, and it was awesome. I thought it was hilarious, loved it, wanted to do it, or wanted to get a picture with them. So I got a picture with them, and I go to walk off, and apparently it was near the sign-up sheet for the competition. And I went to walk off, and all of a sudden this guy in a tuxedo stops me. He's like, hey, do you want to be a member of the Court of Owls? Or do you want to be part of a group? We're doing a group contest. There's going to be a bunch of Batman villains. So I was like, fuck it, why not, So I told him I joined, signed up with them, and we figured anytime we saw a Batman villain walk on the floor, we do our best to see if they want to join us. So we go back, do our own little thing, and we all meet up for the competition where we're supposed to. Now this thing was completely and horribly organized. We all get there, and there's a massive fucking line. And this is where things start to happen. I noticed in the TV show, they made it seem like the singles competition and the groups competition were on 2 separate days. That's total bullshit. They were both on the same day. They didn't even have a cap for the singles competition. So you have this massive line for singles alone. And everyone's completely confused, doesn't know what's going on, where we're supposed to be, nothing like that. Finally, people start telling us, singles in this line, groups in this line, you line up, blah, 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 listen for your call. So we all line up at our, designated spots. They set us up and everything. And I know I saw a bunch of people from Heroes of Cosplay on the TV show they showed in line and stuff like that. They were like the Soul Calibur girls. They tried to make it look like it was last minute for her to get her stuff ready and whatnot. All three of those girls were in line at the very beginning whenever they shot everything to begin with. They shot Yaya Han walking between the groups like she's the goddess of all cosplay. And the Soul Calibur girls all three of them were there for that. But then anyone who was part of Heroes Cosplay completely disappeared. After that, they took the singles in to go first. From there, the rest of us with the group had to wait probably, I want to say if I remember correctly, like 2 to 3 good hours. We were just sitting outside waiting. It was close to midnight by the time we finally went to that stage. The entire time we're outside waiting in the hallway before we even made it backstage for the competition. There's nobody there to tell us what's going on, how long it should be, anything like that. They just completely leave us alone, like they completely forgot us. Maybe about, I don't know, 20-30 minutes before they finally came and got us, someone came out with a case of water to hand out to us because we had nothing to drink, we had nothing to eat, we were tired, we were annoyed. So they brought a case of water out and started handing it to people. Didn't even finish getting to everybody in the line. So there was still a good chunk of us that never got a water. The guy said they were going to go back and get another case of water to finish it up. Never returned. Nothing. And then they finally got us to go behind the stage and get prepped to go on stage. So we all walk down to where they have us. We're waiting in the backstage area and everything like that. And all of a sudden, out of the side door, Eric the Smoke comes out to tell us, "Y'all got 5 seconds on stage. We don't have time for skits. You got to get on there and get off and make it quick." And then just disappears. Now there was a group of people there's a bunch of people who already planned out their skits and everything. So it was absolutely ridiculous. They had to scrap them. There was a group there, 2 girls, very sweet, very, very cool girls. Marina and Jane. And Jane was dressed up as Peter Pan, the animated Peter Pan, and Marina was dressed up as Ariel. And they had this really cute skit they planned out and everything like that. They showed us after the competition. It would have been a wonderful and lovely skit they would have done. They had to scrap it. In my group, like I said, we were very much last minute. Nobody planned it. So we decided, well, you know what? They want to make us look like a fool. Fuck it, let's make them look like a fool, and let's have some fun. So it was me, kidding Josh, who was the other member of the Court of Owls, Manny, who was Bane from the movie, who else was there? Cameron, who was dressed up as Slade, and Megan, who was dressed up as Poison Ivy. And for the life of me, I can't remember the other 2 people's name. I deeply apologize, which all were absolutely wonderful. They were our Anarchy and Joker. We decided we're going to make fools of them. You know, we're going to have fun, whatever. So we decided, you know what? Whenever we get up there, we're going to do that stupid Bernie dance. If you don't know what the Bernie is, go ahead and pause the video. Look up a video for I Can Bernie Lean. If you ever seen Weekend at Bernie's 2, it's a stupid little dance that he does. That's what we did on stage. So we decided, you know what? Let's try and get a bunch of other people to dance too. Let's see how many people we can get to join us in this stupid little charade to dance. So we all start telling them, you know what? Forget your skits. Forget the skits. Let's all just do a dance. It'll be stupid. It'll be fun. We'll enjoy it. Have a good old time. Yada, 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 yada. So Molly and her man, they were the two dressed up as the Quidditch players. Absolutely wonderful costumes again, by the way. Theirs were completely homemade, even their brooms, and it looked fantastic. It was absolutely brilliant. We get them to join us. You know, hey, do a dance instead. It'll be fun. Let's just make a fool out of the place. Jane and Marina, who they never even showed, decided they were going to scrap their little idea they originally had and do a stupid little dance. So we start getting this group of people to start, you know, okay, we're going to dance, we're going to dance, we're going to dance. Well, while we're backstage, we're waiting for another probably 30 to 40 minutes to even go out on stage. And they tell us, oh, you know, we're sorry for the wait. You know, we've got a little something for you after you get off stage. So I'm thinking, cool, maybe we'll have a little swag bag. You know, here I was on Heroes of Cosplay, and all I got just lousy T-shirt, or you know, something like that. Just a little something, you know, for the many excruciating hours that we had to wait before we even got on stage. And as we're getting lined up to get ready to go on stage, that's when the other members of the Heroes of Cosplay come out. That's when you see the other girls from that were doing Soul Calibur, and that's when you saw that Peter Pan group. And by the way, may I say that they wanted to put a dark twist on Peter Pan. The original idea for Peter Pan was the fact that he took children's souls away to Neverland, so they never had to grow old, they never had to die. The only thing they did is to make it look quote unquote dark. That's all. It wasn't an original idea whatsoever. Not to bash on their costumes or anything like that, they look fantastic and all that stuff. But they ended up, which they didn't show either, they were talking to Jane and Marina, the two girls who were doing Peter Pan and Ariel. They never showed that at all. The entire time, all they do is film that group. Apparently, they did a little bit of the other three girls too, but for the most part, they're focused on that group alone. I understand they're part of the TV show, yada yada, whatever. Then, if you watch, you can pay attention. The order they show us going up isn't even proper. They show the Asgardians go up. Don't even show the entire thing that they did. And then they shoot back to the three girls from Soul Calibur. You see the Asgardians behind them again. I understand it's TV, but you can at least make the cutting done properly. That's all I'm saying. So they didn't even show Jane and Marina's skit, which was hilarious. They got up on stage, and Jane looked at Marina and said, Ariel, you've got legs! And Marina says, you darn right I do. She starts twerking while Jane takes her pixie dust that she had and starts doing that and throwing it like it was money. As far as I'm concerned, they should have won because that's ingenious and it's hilarious. So anyways, we get up on stage and we walk up like we're supposed to be all serious and whatnot. And then get out there. You saw Manny, 1, 2, 3. And then we start to Bernie. And Slade was supposed to be in the background doing the face palm, looking like really. Then we get off stage, expecting a little something for all the weight and everything like that. Come to find out, their little gift for us, a little something they got for us, was cold, stale beignets from Cafe Du Monde. Don't get me wrong, I love beignets and I love them from Cafe Du Monde, but when either you get to go to New Orleans all the time or you live in New Orleans, Cafe Du Monde, it's kind of like going to McDonald's. It's not that big of a deal anymore. Yeah, it's so good, but it's not a huge ordeal. On top of that, like I said, they were cold and they were stale. Uh, then they took a few pictures of us, and then they had us go and sit out in the audience. Um, and we sat with the friends we made. After that, they kept going with the rest of the show and everything like that. After everybody had done their thing, they stopped and they call us back. They call my group up there. And we're like, holy shit, we might actually win something. You know, it'd be nifty, whatever. Not that big deal, but it still would have been cool. That's when they call us up to ask us that question. Was this a last minute thing, or did y'all plan this out? To which I answer, you know, it was a last minute thing. I told the story that I just told you all about walking the floor, everything like that. Gave my props to the gender bending group that they didn't show. They didn't show me giving my props to them. Like, okay, we know, thank you, yada, 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 and had us go sit down again. Apparently, I didn't realize this, but apparently there's also a costume change for Yo-Yo Han. That was to make it look like it was shot 2 different days, when in fact it wasn't. Like I said, it was all in one night. After that, of course, they announced the winners, and of course, as you saw, the Peter Pan's Labyrinth, who got to do, you know, a 5-10 minute skit with music and, you know, visual effects and everything. Of course, they won. They made it sound like everybody had to have a skit. Nay, that was not the case. As I said before, whenever Eric Snow told us you have 5 seconds on stage, you get on and you get off, blah, 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 blah. And then they shot what I guess was the beginning of the first episode. I didn't watch the actual first part of it. And on top of that, the auditorium was practically empty by the time it got to groups competition. What my brother-in-law said, who watched the entire thing, the minute Yo-Yo Han came out there and did her little thing or whatever, people pretty much started leaving. We saw people leaving before we even went backstage. So we thought the competition was over and they completely forgot about us for whatever reason. All in all, the experience with them was absolutely horrible. What they show you on TV is complete and utter bullshit. And really the only good thing that came from this was the fact that I got to meet a handful of really, really sweet people. Another thing that they even show, which really upsets me, is there was a family there doing a Silent Hill cosplay. You had the guy doing Pyramid Head, his wife doing the nurse, and I'm not quite sure what the daughter was. I've never really played Silent Hill. I know, shame on me, whatever. But they were super sweet, and their homemade costumes looked absolutely phenomenal. It was amazing looking. Didn't even show them on the TV series, which is complete and utter bullshit. As far as costume making, they should have won. Skit-wise, like I said, Jane and Marina should have won because that was just hilarious. The twerking Ariel and the pixie dust making it rain, genius. Even especially in the fact that it was like a split-second decision, amazing. So like I was saying, the entire experience was just terrible, absolutely terrible. Apparently, most competitions aren't even ran like this. It was really upsetting since it was my first ever competition, my first ever time doing cosplay. It almost really made me never want to do a competition again, really discouraged me from ever doing one from the way that one was ran. And like I said, what they show on TV is complete and utter bullshit. The way it happened in real life and the way they portrayed it happening are 2 totally different things. And I'm sure there's a bunch of blogs you can go out and read that give similar testimonies to the one I've just given. Ultimately, for you fans of Heroes of Cosplay, it's terrible. It really is. The way they shoot it is absolutely horrible. The way they treat the cosplayers is horrific. Uh, it really should be stopped. It ruins cosplay and it ruins cons completely. Um, I'm all for having competitions. It can be completely fun if done properly, not shot for a reality TV series. Um, it's just everything that is wrong with cosplay. They don't properly portray cosplayers. They don't properly portray what goes on behind the scenes at their competitions. Um, the only good that it's ever done was brought cosplay into the light and let people see what cosplay actually is, to an extent at least. Um, but ultimately, uh, we don't need it at our cons. We don't need it in our competitions. It ruined everything, in my opinion, and it was the worst experience I ever had doing any kind of competition of anything. Period. Um, and if Heroes of Cosplay ever comes back down and they ever do another competition, I will completely stay away from them. I will not have anything to do with anyone from the show, and I will definitely not be participating in the show itself. Um, I hope you sat through this entire thing and watched it. I hope you understand where we're coming from. And yeah, thank you for your time. I do appreciate it.